You look at your blood work, that paper the doctor handed you with a reassuring smile, and read the words that should make you feel relieved. AST and ALT levels are normal. The doctor claps you on the shoulder and says, everything's fine, your liver is working perfectly, and you can go home without a care. But you feel something isn't right. You feel that fatigue that drags you to the couch in the middle of the afternoon, that bloating that tightens your pants even when you haven't overeaten, that abdominal discomfort that appears out of nowhere, making you place your hand on the right side of your belly, searching for relief that doesn't come. You try to ignore it. After all, the doctor said everything's normal, but deep down, you know your body is screaming that something is wrong. And then comes that nagging doubt, the one that wakes you up in the middle of the night, that makes you search the internet at 3 in the morning. Is my liver really okay? Or is there something the tests aren't showing? Am I being negligent with my health, blindly trusting numbers that might not tell the whole story? I need to tell you something that could completely change the way you see your liver health. Something very few doctors explain during a 15-minute appointment. There's a silent, frightening truth about fatty liver that affects millions of people over 60. You can have perfectly normal liver enzymes and still have a liver packed with fat, slowly progressing towards steatohepatitis, fibrosis, and cirrhosis, without any alarm bells ringing on your blood work. That's right, those AST and ALT values within the reference range might be hiding a progressive disease that's stealing years from your life, silently, without you even suspecting. And the scariest part is, the older you get, the higher the chance this is happening to you right now, at this very moment, as you read these words. A study published in the Journal of Hepatology in 2023 revealed something that should have been plastered on the front page of every newspaper, but was ignored by the mainstream media and most healthcare professionals. Researchers at Harvard University analyzed over 15,000 patients over 60 and discovered that 42% of those with moderate to severe fatty liver disease had completely normal liver enzymes. This means nearly half of people with dangerous fat in their livers would never be diagnosed if doctors relied solely on AST and ALT tests. Imagine how many people are walking around, carefree, thinking they're healthy, while their liver is being slowly destroyed from the inside out, cell by cell, without anyone noticing. I've been a hepatologist for over 20 years. Throughout my career, I've seen hundreds of patients fall victim to this diagnostic trap. I created this channel because I'm tired of seeing people discover too late that they had fatty liver, when the condition had already progressed to something irreversible, when there was no turning back. I want you to understand what's happening in your body. I want you to ask your doctor the right questions. I want you to take charge of your health before it's too late. If you've made it this far, it's because you're truly committed to your health, and that gives me a lot of hope. I created this channel precisely for people like you, who don't just want to hear that their tests are normal and be done with it, but who want to understand what's really going on, who want real solutions, who want to live longer and better. Every week, I bring you updated information based on the latest research, things that many doctors still don't know or don't have time to explain in the office. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell because I'm going to guide you on this journey to protect your liver. You're not alone in this, and together, we'll figure out how to prevent and reverse this silent condition that threatens so many lives. But before I explain why this happens, why enzymes lie, and why you need to look beyond them, I need to make you a promise. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which tests to ask your doctor for. You'll understand how to interpret your results in a way no professional has ever taught you, and you'll learn a complete protocol to protect your liver even when the tests say everything is normal. But for that, you need to stay with me until the end, because every piece of information I share connects to the next, forming a complete picture that could save your life. Let me tell you the story of Mrs. Marisa, a patient who came to my office 2 years ago at 68 years old, saying she felt terrible, but that all the doctors she had consulted assured her everything was fine. Marisa had type 2 diabetes for 10 years, high blood pressure controlled with medication, and a history of high cholesterol. She showed me a stack of blood tests, all done in the last 5 years, and in every single one, her liver enzymes were normal. AST always between 20 and 30, ALT between 25 and 35, values any doctor would look at and say there's no reason for concern. But Marissa insisted something was wrong. She told me she woke up tired every day, that she had gained 25 pounds in the last 3 years without losing an ounce, that she felt constant pressure in her upper right abdomen, that she had periods of mental confusion where she'd forget the names of people close to her, and that her legs would swell so much by the end of the day she could barely get her shoes on. I looked at her, I looked at the normal tests, and I said, "Let's get an abdominal ultrasound." The result came back a week later and confirmed what I already suspected: grade 3 hepatic steatosis, meaning fatty liver at an advanced level with early signs of fibrosis. Her liver was packed with fat, inflamed, starting to scar, and for 5 years, no liver enzyme test had signaled this. Now I need to ask you a question, and I want you to be completely honest with me, because your answer could help thousands of people watching this video right now. When was the last time you had an ultrasound of your liver? I'm not talking about a blood test. I'm talking about an ultrasound, the only imaging test that can truly show if there's fat buildup in your liver. Have you ever had one in your life, or are you blindly trusting the AST and ALT values that appear on paper? I know how hard it is to question your doctor, how complicated it is to request tests that weren't ordered, how scary it is to admit you might be sick when everyone says you're healthy. So I want you to comment below. Feel free to use these words: "I'm over 60 and have never had a liver ultrasound." Don't be ashamed, don't feel judged. This is a safe space. And when you comment, you're showing other people they're not alone. You're creating a chain of awareness, of strength. Comment now, because I read every single comment, and your story matters. Your health matters. But why does this happen? Why can liver enzymes be normal even when the liver is full of fat? The answer lies in the very nature of these enzymes and in the aging process of our bodies. AST and ALT are enzymes that reside inside liver cells, the hepatocytes, and they only appear in the blood when these cells are damaged and rupture, releasing their contents into the bloodstream. So when you see elevated AST and ALT, it means there's active destruction of liver cells happening at that moment. But here's the problem: hepatic steatosis, especially in the early and intermediate stages, doesn't necessarily cause immediate cell destruction. Fat accumulates inside the cells, they become swollen, dysfunctional, inflamed, but they don't completely rupture. It's like having a water balloon stretched to its maximum, about to burst, but still intact. The balloon is clearly damaged, but technically it hasn't burst yet, so there's no detectable leak. And there's more. As we age, our liver undergoes a process called senile hepatic remodeling, where liver mass naturally decreases, hepatic blood flow reduces by up to 40%, and the regenerative capacity of cells drops drastically. This means that in people over 60, even when there is liver damage, enzyme release might be lower than it would be in a younger person with the same degree of damage. Even worse, the reference ranges used by labs don't adequately account for this age variation. They use the same normal range for a 30-year-old and a 70-year-old, when in reality, we should be using much stricter parameters for older adults. A 2024 Korean study demonstrated that patients over 65 with hepatic steatosis, diagnosed by elastography, had, on average, ALT values only 3 units above the lower limit of normal, values that any doctor would classify as perfectly healthy. But when these same patients underwent liver biopsies, it was found that 73% already had some degree of fibrosis, meaning permanent scarring of the liver, a process that eventually leads to cirrhosis if not stopped. So it's not that the enzymes are useless, they're simply not sufficient, especially in older adults, especially when we're talking about fatty liver. Let me tell you about Mr. Antonio, another patient of mine, a 72-year-old retiree, a former banker who was always meticulous about his health. Antonio had his annual checkups religiously, kept all his tests up to date, and his liver enzymes never exceeded the upper limit of normal. He didn't drink alcohol, didn't smoke, walked 3 times a week, but he had metabolic syndrome, that dangerous combination of abdominal obesity, insulin resistance, altered cholesterol, and high blood pressure. For years, doctor after doctor looked at his tests and said his liver was fine. Until one day, during a routine visit with me, I asked if he had ever had a liver elastography, a test that measures liver stiffness and detects fibrosis. He didn't even know this test existed. We did the test, and the result was a shock. Grade 2 fibrosis, a stage where the liver had already begun to scar significantly, one step away from cirrhosis. And all this time, his enzymes were normal, smiling innocently on paper, while his liver was being silently destroyed. So now you're probably wondering, if I can't trust the enzymes, what can I trust? How do I find out if I have fatty liver before it's too late? The answer involves a combination of tests that most doctors don't order routinely, but that you have every right to request. First, an abdominal ultrasound with a specific liver evaluation is essential. It detects steatosis even when enzymes are normal, and it's an inexpensive, accessible, non-invasive test. Second, liver elastography, also known as FibroScan, which measures the amount of fat and the degree of liver fibrosis with much greater accuracy than a standard ultrasound. Third, indirect fibrosis markers like FIB4 and APRI, which are calculations based on common blood tests, but that most doctors don't compute. Fourth, if you have risk factors like diabetes, obesity, metabolic syndrome, your doctor should be ordering these tests even if your enzymes are perfect. But there's something even more important than getting the tests: understanding the risk factors that put you in danger. And here's a fact that should scare you. Studies show that 90% of people with type 2 diabetes have some degree of fatty liver, and 50% of them will develop steatohepatitis, which is when the fat causes active inflammation. If you have diabetes and are over 60, the chance of you having fatty liver is extremely high, even if your enzymes are normal. If you have abdominal obesity, that protruding belly that doesn't go down even with dieting, you're at risk. If you have high cholesterol, triglycerides over 150, elevated blood pressure, you're at risk. And the worst part is that these factors potentiate each other. They don't add up, they multiply. A person with diabetes, obesity, and high cholesterol has a much higher probability of developing severe steatosis than the individual sum of each factor. Comment below if you have diabetes or metabolic syndrome, because I want to know how many people here fall into this high-risk group and urgently need a more detailed liver evaluation. Don't wait for symptoms to appear, because by then, significant damage may have already been done. If you have fatty liver, give this video a like so more people can access this life-changing information. Now for the question everyone asks. Okay, I understand I need to get the right tests, but what if I discover I have fatty liver with normal enzyme levels? What do I do? First, take a deep breath and understand that fatty liver disease, especially in its early stages, is reversible. Yes, you read that right, reversible. The liver is one of the most incredible organs in the human body with an impressive capacity for regeneration, and if you act now, you can literally reverse fat accumulation and prevent progression to fibrosis and cirrhosis. But this requires commitment. It requires real lifestyle changes, not those timid little adjustments you make for 2 weeks and then abandon. The protocol I recommend for my patients with fatty liver and normal enzyme levels has 4 fundamental pillars. First pillar, gradual and sustained weight loss. Studies show that losing between 7 and 10% of your body weight is enough to significantly reduce liver fat and even reverse fatty liver hepatitis in many cases. But pay attention, I'm not talking about crazy diets, unsupervised prolonged fasting, or cutting out all carbohydrates from your life. I'm talking about a moderate calorie reduction, 500 to 750 calories per day, combined with smart food choices. Prioritize lean proteins, vegetables, healthy fats like olive oil and avocado, and drastically reduce refined sugars, white flours, sodas, and ultra-processed foods. It sounds simple, but consistency is key. Second pillar, regular physical exercise. And there's no negotiation here. You need to move. And I'm not just talking about light walks. Moderate to intense aerobic exercise, at least 150 minutes per week, combined with muscle resistance training 2 to 3 times a week. Why is this so important? Because exercise improves insulin sensitivity, reduces visceral fat, increases fat oxidation in the liver, and promotes the release of myokines, substances produced by muscles that have an anti-inflammatory effect throughout the body, including the liver. If you have mobility issues, start slow, but start. 10 minutes a day is better than nothing. Third pillar, strict control of insulin resistance and diabetes. If you have diabetes, your goal isn't just to keep your A1C below 7, it's to keep it as close to normal as possible, ideally below 6. And this may require medication adjustments. There are medications like metformin, which in addition to controlling blood sugar, have direct beneficial effects on the liver, and GLP-1 agonists like semaglutide and liraglutide, which recent studies have shown a significant ability to reduce liver fat and inflammation. Talk to your doctor about these options. Show them the studies. Be proactive in your health. Fourth pillar, strategic supplementation when necessary. Vitamin E in appropriate doses has shown benefits in non-diabetic patients with fatty liver hepatitis, but it must be used under medical supervision. Omega-3, especially EPA and DHA, has anti-inflammatory effects and can help reduce triglycerides and liver fat. Specific probiotics can improve gut health and reduce the production of toxins that overload the liver. But beware of miracle promises. There's no magic supplement that will cure fatty liver if you don't change your diet and lifestyle. Many people ask me if coffee actually protects the liver, and the answer is yes, based on solid scientific evidence. Studies show that drinking 3 to 4 cups of coffee per day, preferably without sugar, is associated with a lower risk of fatty liver progressing to fibrosis and cirrhosis. Coffee contains bioactive compounds like chlorogenic acid and caffeine that have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. So if you enjoy coffee, that's good news. Other frequent questions include whether small amounts of alcohol are harmful. The answer is clear. If you have fatty liver, avoid alcohol completely. Even small amounts can worsen inflammation and accelerate progression to cirrhosis. And what about detox juices and fad diets that promise to cleanse your liver in 7 days? That's marketing without scientific basis. Your liver doesn't need to be detoxified with a miracle green juice. It needs less overload, less fat, less chronic inflammation. The best detoxification is to stop overloading it with bad foods, excess calories, and obesity. And how long does it take to reverse fatty liver? This varies greatly from person to person, but studies show that with consistent lifestyle changes, significant reduction in liver fat can be seen in 3 to 6 months, and complete reversal in mild to moderate cases in 12 to 18 months. Let me tell you about Mrs. Helena, 70 years old, who has had diabetes for 15 years. She came to my office with normal enzyme levels, but with grade 2 fatty liver detected on ultrasound. Helena was discouraged, thinking it was too late to change, that at her age, it wasn't worth the effort anymore. I looked her in the eyes and said, "Helena, your liver still has the capacity to regenerate. Your body still wants to heal, but you need to give it the tools to do so." I convinced her to try the protocol for 6 months. She cut out sugar, drastically reduced refined carbohydrates, started walking 40 minutes a day, began light strength training with resistance bands at home, and we adjusted her diabetes medications. 6 months later, she had lost 20 pounds. Her A1C had dropped from 8.2 to 6.4, and the follow-up ultrasound showed a significant reduction in liver fat from grade 2 to grade 1. Helena cried in my office, hugged me, and said she had regained the hope and energy she thought she had lost forever. So, to recap everything we've discussed, here's what you need to remember and take away today. First, normal liver enzymes don't guarantee your liver is fat-free, especially if you're over 60. Second, you need additional tests like an ultrasound and elastography to truly know what's going on with your liver. Third, risk factors like diabetes, obesity, and metabolic syndrome put you at extremely high risk for fatty liver, even with normal enzymes. Fourth, fatty liver is reversible in its early and moderate stages, but it requires real commitment to lifestyle changes. Fifth, the treatment protocol involves gradual weight loss, regular exercise, strict blood sugar control, and strategic supplementation when indicated. And sixth, you can't wait for symptoms to appear, because by the time they do, you've often lost precious time. If you've made it this far and are feeling that knot in your stomach, that sense that you need to act now, that's good. It means you're truly grasping the seriousness of the situation and the urgency of taking action. But don't let fear paralyze you. Let it motivate you. If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know, if it made you realize you need to get a better look at your liver, hit that like button. When you do that, you're helping the algorithm get this information to thousands of other people who are in the same boat as you. People who are blindly trusting tests that might be hiding a silent disease. Subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, because every week I bring you content like this, based on the latest research with information that can literally save your life or the life of someone you love. And please share this video with your friends, your family, especially those over 60 who get routine checkups but have never had a comprehensive liver assessment. You could be saving someone's life by sharing knowledge, by breaking the silence on this epidemic of fatty liver that's growing at an alarming rate worldwide. Comment below with your AST and ALT levels. Share your story. Tell us if you've had a liver ultrasound or if you're going to ask your doctor for one at your next appointment. The community here is strong, it's supportive, and every comment you leave strengthens others going through the same thing. In the next video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to interpret a liver ultrasound, what terms like grade 1, 2, and 3 fatty liver mean, how to tell if you have signs of fibrosis, and what numbers should be concerning. I'll show you real patient cases with ultrasound images explaining step-by-step what each finding means for your health. Don't miss it, because this knowledge will transform you into an informed patient, capable of asking the right questions and demanding the care you deserve. Until next time. Take care of yourself, value your body, and remember, you have the power to change your health story, but you need to act now while there's still time.